ожидаю сейчас в гости к нам Люка Перос. Люка Перос уже однажды был в программе «Актер». Сегодня, как повторный эфир, как мы и обещали, мы будем задавать вопросы от зрителей, многочисленные вопросы, которые пришли к нам. Эфир будет длиться 25-30 минут. Также, если вы будете задавать какие-то вопросы Люка, мы сможем ответить на них сегодня. Так, напомню вам о том, кто такой Люка Перос и по каким картинам вы можете его помнить и знать. Да, значит, зрители во всем мире запомнили образ Марселя, исполнившего роль Марселя, которую исполнил Люка в триллере «Бумажный дом». Я, кстати, потрясающий фильм, я смотрела его, это действительно невероятная картина, и то, как сыграл там Люка, действительно потрясающе. «Бумажный дом». И получил, кстати, Netflix с этой картиной получили премию, очень большую премию. Прошу прощения, что так слегка с первого-второго эфира еще не оклемалась. Сейчас у нас будет проходить эфир на английском языке. Люка уже к нам подключился. Вот, я читаю вопросы, здесь просто сотни, поэтому слегка сбила начало нашего разговора, потому что я не представляю, как мы успеем за полчаса ответить на все эти вопросы. Итак, Люка подключается к нам. Tell me, how's it going right now? Is it anything better and different since we talked last time?
Okay, so last time we talked was 3 weeks ago then, yes. And I went to Madrid to shoot this movie for the Venice Film Festival. It's called El Arte de Volver, the art of coming back. And I had 2 night shoots in Madrid. It was surreal. It was weird to travel to Madrid in a packed train, everybody kind of walking on eggshells in one way. And the actual shoot, because it was a night shoot, it was a very small crew, because it's an art movie kind of student almost. It's for the Biennale, Venice Biennale Art College program. But everybody was wearing masks the whole time, apart from the actress and myself, Macarena Garcia. Great girl, great professional, and nothing. We've done it. It was 2 long nights because it was a very demanding role, but it kind of functions. You know, everybody is more careful when we eat. We're kind of separated. Everybody had a test. I think I did too. You know, before I shot. So a COVID test, of course, and you know we've done it.
So
the material looks good.
What do you do if in the script it says that he kisses her?
No.
They cut it out?
I cried a lot. I cried for 2 days on end.
But then, for real, like...
I finished on the Saturday morning. I was, for 2 days, I was like a balloon, blowing it up with my bags under my... So, yeah, I cried a lot.
But still,
so it was.
How about those intimate moments in the movies? Is there new rules, or they just cut out from the scenario?
I don't know. They rarely give me those kind of roles. I've maybe had 2 or 3 kind of like hanky-panky roles in my life. The last one was 2.5 years ago in Belgrade for a series there. So I don't know how it's gonna go. I mean, if they both have COVID test, you have to do the scene. I mean, this is the same thing with any kind of job. Well, not that you're that intimate in other parts of your, other jobs, but I don't know. We have to kind of continue living. If we have the test, if you're negative, if you're keeping safe and so on, and you come to the set and it's controlled, then it should be fine. We cannot. I mean. What about my wife? She goes to the supermarket, I go to play football or to the gym. We still kiss.
Right.
So, and it's the same at work, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, I don't get those roles, so.
Yeah, you don't, but still, it's very interesting. Even for me, it's very interesting. How's those situations? Or it should be 2 stars with the COVID positive.
Let's make love at a distance. I touch you, I kiss you, and
It's just like, you know, I love you with my heart, you know, just with eyes.
I'll tell you what we have done in our little encounter. Something like that. You describe it. There's a voiceover in the movie.
Like,
then he placed his hand on his bosom.
Now you can imagine what we're gonna do. Zink. That's funny. So we have questions from the previous conversation.
Yes, yes.
And
sorry to all the fans and everybody that didn't get them. Yeah.
Yeah. So they cannot be logical. They're just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. So, shoot.
What about La Casa de Papel? There's something.
Good.
I'm sorry. Season 5.
Good.
When fifth season of Money Heist.
Money Heist. When Money Heist 5, La Casa de Papel 5, I know they announced it. And I know they're cooking up something. I know they're writing. Now, officially, when are we going to start shoot? I don't know. I hope it's soon. Mm-hmm. But because of the whole COVID-19 situation, dear fans, there's been so much mishmash of things. I will tell you honestly, we were supposed to start April with rehearsals, maybe May shooting. That was what I was informed in January, February. But after that, they really want to go back to work. Everybody does. But the problem is, you know, not only to organize how we're going to shoot in the new conditions, but also production companies have stuff that they didn't shoot yet. My colleagues have other projects they didn't finish yet. So, and since I live in Barcelona, I don't get any information. So guys, sit tight. It's going to come when it's going to come. I have to wait to watch it like you guys.
What is your character in that movie?
I'm sorry?
What is your character in this movie that they're asking about?
The one I've done in Madrid. He's a Romanian cab, like a Uber or Cabify driver. He picks up the main character, and he's very eager to chit-chat. But I cannot tell you much more.
Okay.
It's a very interesting scene. It's 14 pages of text, just blah 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 blah, and a lot of emotion. So, and very well written. I compliment regularly to Pedro Collantes, who's the young director. He did a great script. So. It will be shown supposedly the first week of September at the Venice Film Festival. I really hope I can fly and go and see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
His name is Radu, just so you know.
Okay. What was your favorite moment on the on set of La Casa de Papel?
Well, there were many fun moments. The Berlin wedding, the wedding of Berlin and Tatiana, was a lot of fun. For 2 days, we were just goofing off and dancing and being silly, the 5 of us. Well, apart from Alvaro, the professor. Well, he had fun off camera, just so you guys know. But otherwise, you look like, you know, like I do usually at weddings. I'm not a big wedding fan. Anyway, so that was a fun moment. And the fight with the Alvaro Morte, the professor in the desert, that was fun because it was challenging to do it well. And he's a great guy, so we had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Could you sing the La Casa de Papel song, please?
No.
That's the question.
Everybody else does it, I don't.
I mean, that's the answer too. No,
2 problems. I can remember 14 pages of text and other people's lines after a couple of read-throughs, etc. But song lyrics, I'm horrendous. I love music. I sang in a band. I sing still at home, in the shower, whatever. But I'm terrible in remembering lyrics, so I can just hum along. So
what's that?
I'm sorry?
Same thing with me. I mean, what's that? Very fast learner, but not the same.
I don't know. I think I get too involved in the emotion and the music and everything together. I mean, if I do have rehearsals with a band and we have to sing a song, of course I'll learn it. But like now, you put on Talking Heads or a U2 song on, I will know 50% of the words while everybody else is singing it on their, you know, top of their lungs. But I know I've listened to that song 1 million times,
right.
And I don't know, it just doesn't stick.
Yeah.
I don't know why. You have that as well?
Yes, I do. I do the same thing. I don't know songs.
So
but
if we go to a wedding, we could just go la la.
Not even the I mean, I don't even know the words. That's
you don't.
That was a bad thing to say in life. but I don't.
Yeah, you know, you're like the you have many people like that who like lip sync.
Yes, Hold on. Do you speak German? I think we talked about that last time, that you speak many languages.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I started to read and write in German as a kid in '82, something like that. I spent 5 years in Vienna, so I had 1 year of kindergarten, like preschool, and 4 years of lower school.
Do you ever plan to visit Massachusetts? Somebody lives there and they're inviting you.
Wow, this is out of the blue question. It might be my friend Ed Kearns from college. Hi, Big Ed. I would like to go back. I would like to go back and visit a lot of the places that I lived back in the States between '95 and 2002, including Boston, Massachusetts. I have some fond memories from my college time there. And I do still have several friends in the States that I would love to see, but God knows if time is going to allow it and whatever. You never know. But yes, I would like to come back.
Very nice. Luka, do you speak French? I mean,
yes, I do.
What kind of question is this?
It's a simple question. Yes. I speak it poorly because I don't use it. I studied for 8 years. I understand a lot. When I was in Paris for the promotion, with the journalists that would speak French, I would answer in Spanish or in English. I would need a translator. It's just my vocabulary is really terrible. The grammar also is suffering. So if you give me a text, I will read it fine and maybe work on my diction. Just practice, guys. Yeah, whatever in life would you do, including language. What
motivates you to learn like different languages? That's my question. What's motivation? It's either a part.
Motivation. Parents who told me go to this school, do this, do that.
And so it's from the childhood. I see. It's not something that.
No, yeah, this is all from childhood.
It's.
I only learned since like when I was 18 to 20 years old. Since then, I only learned one more language properly, and the Spanish, well, properly. That's some 90%. And then I learned that in the last 5 years here without any courses or classes, just because of life and work. But otherwise, I've learned everything as a kid.
And do you openly use your speaking abilities in the movies? Do you cast as a French or German actor on set, knowing that languages?
I played a German Nazi role 3 years ago here in a Spanish movie, and one part of the movie because it didn't practice enough. Well, not practice enough. I guess I was insecure. I was not satisfied with one part of the movie. Some scenes where I have text, and then later, when we were in Budapest, I was with a German colleague, Richard van Weyden. He's a great guy, a great friend, and we worked a lot on these several scenes we had together. So, just like I said, practice. In those scenes, my diction is perfect.
People are dying.
Yes, I can pass by.
Listen, they're all like, speak German, say something in German. Here I have a question.
Okay.
Say something in German.
Okay, sehr schnell. Hallo, liebe Fans, das ist der Luka hier, der Luka Peros aus Haus des Geldes, La Casa de Papel, Marseille ist hier. Gar nichts, es ist wunderschön hier, euch zu sehen mit meiner wunderschönen, hübschen Freundin Sophia. Und jetzt werden wir ein bisschen auf Englisch sprechen. Tut mir leid. Tschüss.
Please stop it. I don't understand the word you're saying. I feel like I need to go.
Yeah, professional deformation. I don't know. I enjoy the fact that I can manage different languages. It is a challenge. Like I can get along primarily in English like the best. In English, I can do the different accents. I can go Australian or not so much British because it's so tight, but Irish, Scottish, any kind of USA accents I can do. Northwest, East, South. But with training, it's all feasible. So it's just if the role comes, that's the other part of the problem.
Yes, that's the thing to do. Have you met Jake Canuso?
Jake?
Jake Canuso. K-A-N-U-S-O.
Sorry, guys. Maybe I had a beer with him, but I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know who that is. Sorry.
So, okay. So, can you give us like three main advices for the beginner actors from yourself, not from something you've learned, but from something you've learned?
Yeah, for myself. Be curious. Be very curious to seek what you feel is right, but to learn in that way of stuff that inspires you to then not copy, but to enrich your artistic experience. Be focused on what you really want. You cannot, you know, with your look, with your body, you cannot do whatever you want. No, be focused on how you want to direct your career and in what area and how much time and effort and energy you want to spend on that without losing that time, effort, and energy. And thirdly, love your job.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
I mean,
love your job.
More than 12 hours a day.
What?
Unless it's not long, if it's not longer than 12 hours. Yeah.
Listen, you know, I've done 25-hour shooting days. I've done days that I would come and they would pick me up from the hotel. I would come in, they would just put some makeup, wardrobe, one scene, 2 takes, boom, and go get back to the hotel and make my money.
How do you re-rest on set when it's really getting really tiring or cold or whatever? Like, do you have your own technique? Like, for example, you know, I had Alexander lay down for 10 minutes.
Well, I admire those colleagues who can like really nap like cats somewhere in the corner, hide away. Then they do their like beauty sleep nap to get energy back in for, you know, 10, 15, 20 minutes. I rarely can do that. Depends really on the shooting day conditions and the crew and you know, it's a lot of mental power. I think the best advice would be like get your head strong so you can fight back the cold, fight back the heat, whatever conditions are, you know, and be focused and overcome it. Nobody's gonna hold your hand, guys. This is on you.
Right.
So
another question. If you have in the script a role says Russian bandit that you need to play, what to you a Russian bandit should look like? And what's the difference between Italian, German, and Russian?
Depends on the makeup people and the wardrobe people. I don't know, man.
I can never understand how in the other countries they decide how Russian bandits need to look like, but it's very interesting too.
Honestly, you know, that's a good question. Whoever asked that, kudos, thank you. I mean, you know, I've done it's yours. Thank you. I've done auditions for like a Georgian, Georgia, or even Azerbaijani or something like Mobster series, something like maybe 6-7 years ago. And I called my agent and I was like, but you know, I'm definitely not that guy. I can pass German, French, maybe Italian, I don't know. I can with some makeup, maybe Central European for sure, but I'm not darker skin, dark hair, and so on. Nobody has that time to make me really look like somebody from that area. I mean, it's just like, why don't I be a Yakuza Japanese, you know, mobster? No, I'm definitely not going to be able to play it. It's your agent and the casting director need to know what they're asking. You can cheat a little bit, but not enough. Yeah, mobsters now. A mobster can be a guy that looks like, I don't know.
Yeah, but what do they mean?
Handsome, like what's his name? Not Rob Lowe, the other one. Doesn't matter. Some British actor that is like refined, but they can make him look like a Russian man. Viggo Mortensen.
Yes.
Viggo Mortensen as a Russian mobster. He looked great. Yes, it's the energy, I think. The energy sells. Now, how they make you in the wardrobe and costume and the hair and makeup, that can only help you, but it's the energy. If you really want to get something across, it's the energy and the script.
Right. So is it like, for example, Italian Bond? It would be a very emotional, physical. What are they looking for when they say, particularly from what country this Bond is? That's the most interesting. White Russian, tough and stupid.
You know what?
Italian, loud and very active. German is cold and like.
I understand what you ask, but you know what? Many times for me in my career, the script would tell me what I need to know. Maybe the casting director send you out like a little description of the character, and then you can read it and think about it. Running away to stereotypes, I always shied away from that. I don't want to go into stereotypes. Usually the opposite attracts, you know. Less is more. All those flosculas that we can mention. It depends on your imagination, because you can also, if you do research, you know what kind of, if it's a TV series for some random, very noisy, my son. It's like a gerbil here walking around. Anyways, so you can research who it's for. If it's for a TV production of some low, they're gonna do it more stereotypical, you know. If it's a more concrete job, a movie with interesting producers, directors signed to it, and other actors, you want to look for something that is a little bit different, that gives that image of Italian mobster, German, Russian, doesn't matter, but make it your own. Use your imagination to do some twist. Don't make it outrageous. It can be so minute and so filigrane, you know, particular, that can work in your favor if you do it well, if you hit the nail on the head.
Have you ever been cast for any specific parts where you couldn't find yourself, where you struggled to find it?
Yeah, most of the stuff I've done in Croatia.
What? What again?
Most of the stuff I've done in Croatia.
Oh no, come on.
No, I don't know. I've done a movie last year.
It's not yours, you know, like you cannot feel yourself in that person, but they really see you in there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this, you know, that kind of it goes into the folder of you know, let's make the money and run away, hide your head, because I want to do my best. But and yes, I had some moments where I felt like, you know, this is not enough, this is not for me. But you're there. You try to do your best, and you go on and forget. Do not repeat. You know. That kind of a thing. But it didn't happen that often. It happened maybe 1.5 times in my 25 years of career, you know.
Yeah. So a few advices again for the beginners at their career. Okay. How to deal with those that I asked you right now, with the parts that you cannot feel. Like, what's the not what I mean is the actual exercises. What do you do?
Yeah.
Do you watch people around? Do you try to...
Definitely. Now, listen. Like I said before, imagination is the key when you get a script, and when you don't feel it, don't be lazy. Go and look in other art, movies, TV, books, of course, in music. Sometimes, if I get like a little spark that the music, some sort of music associates me with the dialogue or with the scene in particular about that guy, just to find some energy level or emotion, let's say. And if not, like what you say, and what I like to do, go out and sit on a bench somewhere, people passing, or wherever I am, just in a restaurant or on a terrace, looking around, looking at people, having my own stories about them. And then you can see random mannerisms that people are not conscious, you know, how they fix their hair, how they scratch their chin. We unconsciously do so many little actions in life that sorry, my son, that you do so many different actions that you're not conscious of it, but it happens. It's habitual in a way. And if you steal some of that, it can enrich maybe this character that you're not sure of. But play around. Imagination is key, and don't be afraid. Make bold decisions, how my old teacher said. You have to make bold decisions and believe in them. To go straight forward, even if it means you're going to crash at 180 kilometers an hour into a brick wall. But if you don't try it, you will not know if you even made it to that brick wall. So, yeah, it's difficult. Those are difficult. And a lot of beginners, well, even professional actors from theater, when they go into auditions, they start with these stereotypical roles that don't maybe have meaning and you have to adapt. It's practice, 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 experience.
Right.
One day it might hit. And also sometimes it could happen really that you don't feel it and everybody else feels it. And they take you, and then you realize, and then you go on with it. Who knows? But like I said, be imaginative and bold.
Awesome. And the last question: do you practice by yourself, or with some friends that you know already, or the acting coach when you practice? Still, how movies you've done, like, and you probably know how to do it automatically. But still, your practice. How is the process look like?
The only person that helps me primarily in the last 3 years is my daughter for auditions. She reads with me because she has a good ear, a good rhythm. I don't care if her accent in Spanish or another language is not perfect. It's the rhythm of getting the lines back, because the camera and the casting directors want to see your face and your reactions when you hear something. You're not doing the auditions just to say your lines, guys. You need to live the whole freaking scene. You have to communicate to that person. We have to see that you, aha, I heard this, compute, think, whatever reaction, emotional, intellectual, and then a response. That's the basic logic of interpersonal communication, which is a live part of our profession. Anyways, I do that with my daughter, and the rest I do by myself. I'm a night hawk. I don't sleep much. Usually I'm an insomniac. So at night when the whole family goes to sleep, then I have my way of reading or repeating or just thinking, analyzing in my head the scenes. And the worst part is you can do that for theater very well because you have a set that is set. But when, like, I can rehearse my lines for some scene and the emotion and everything else for a TV series or a movie, and then you come to a location where you've never been before, and it's one by one, and you thought it was a big terrace. You have to adapt. So I do 95%, 98% of the stuff by myself without really conferring with somebody, and not that many projects did I really have a dialect coach or somebody like that that would help with my diction. Of course, what we said before, you know, and you were on that one Zoom meeting with Lucy Lennox and Nancy Bishop, when we talked that, like, you know, we all wish that directors for TV and film had more rehearsals with the actors. I wish I had more rehearsals with the director, but usually I get these roles that are very small and very aggressive, or in the sense of Marseille, I don't speak at all. So there's no point of many rehearsals for me. So yeah.
So why do you personally think that you know, rehearsals with directors and all directors are not so common? Why is that? I think that everyone would love to rehearse more.
Time constraint. That we have come into this rhythm of work that you don't have really much time unless you make your own time. And then if you spend months on a TV series, you don't want to see, I mean, not I myself personally, but I've noticed that there are some colleagues of actors and the crew and production and directors that, you know, they have so much on their plate, they have so much stuff to think of, that even another rehearsal, of course, they make time the same day. Maybe if there's something very, very intense, they find time. But for me, I would need a little bit more, not that same morning after we're all already there. We do our makeup, we are in costume, and then we still wait for them to set up the light, and then we have a rehearsal. And then suddenly somebody from the production comes in, oh, come on, we have to go, we have to shoot. They're all set up. Like, guys, so waiting 2 hours. Why didn't we rehearse in those 2 hours? Right. It's in so many projects that this is happening. Why? I don't know. I think it's time constraint and distraction. You know, with so many factors on hand.
Yeah, and I guess it's a little bit about to save money. They use the money, so that's why
it's always about save the money.
Yes.
Make something great, perfect, but save money.
Yeah, so we're the ones who really can make their picture and save that. So that's great. That's why we need to be ready without rehearsals and being, you know, taught and told before we actually get.
And that's what I think I said in the last talk with you. Is you cannot be the tripping rock, let's say, that moment on set that everything comes to a halt because of you. You as the actor, the actress, the female actor, how you want to call it. You as the professional on that job. No, your professionalism can come to shine when you come in prepared, 100% focused, and do your job without blinking. Yes, sometimes what happens, your tongue twisters, etc. That's minimal. Right. But if you come there and you're distracted and you're not secure, this is all visible for your colleagues and the crew there. So you don't want to allow that. You don't want to have a single dark spot on your resume in that regard. You have to be professional, guys. And that's a promise for continuation and longevity in this profession.
I want to share with you some experience that I had on set. I prepared my part, and it was not a leading part, so I had to support the leading guy. So there was a scene where he had to grab me and be very sexual to me. And we went on set and we went before, and I before to talk about this scene. Then we went on the actual set where everything is set up. Hugely, like 5 stars or diamond hotel, the biggest room. And he goes, I don't think that my guy would do that here to her. You know? And so the whole shooting day we started to discuss why would he do that, and if not, then what he's gonna do. So we lost the whole day. We shot for like 5 minutes. I've never seen anything like that. He was just talking about like lyrics that he doesn't feel that he would actually grab a girl.
But your colleague realized that same day on the set, he didn't have the idea to say something to the producers, to the live producers, to the whole freaking crew a day before.
Because they couldn't, you know, they cannot come out and they cannot do anything. So that's really, really odd. But it happens.
It happens, but that's, I mean, I don't know if it's a. Okay, now that was what I was going to ask. If it's a power player, then everybody has to be like, okay, sir, yes, sir, and so on, because we have people like that in our industry. They do this and everybody jumps. Okay, that exists. But if it's somebody who does that and thinks that that's going to be okay and still continues to work, then I'm like, no. So thank you for the information. Well deserved. Well played, sir. You're without a job. So guys, Sophia's story is a great example what not to do on set.
They're on set.
You're not bigger than the production and the story.
They will say that it's okay, but then they will never ask you back again. So be very professional and be ready for 25 hours straight.
Yeah.
Luka.
Yeah, I had like bad experiences of not being prepared, but being overwhelmed. And that was a good 17 years ago when I came back to Croatia. I was shooting. And I had a scene with Michael York. Sir Michael York was in Cabaret. He was Austin Powers' dad for the younger viewers. And I was giving him lines off screen, but I was so under impression that I was stuttering my lines off camera, not off screen, off camera. And not only that, the scene before, a massive scene with extras and musketeers and whatnot, I had to come in and, my lord, I don't know who is coming with a whole army. And I ran in with 50, 60 extras and all the main cast there on a carpet, and I, like Aladdin, I was, I flew through the frame, fell on my ass, so everybody was laughing, and that, that was a block. After that, I was like, and then I had to give him the lines, and then he got angry at me because I was stuttering and so on. So I never will forget that embarrassment and that bad feeling, because I was so overwhelmed by this turn of events at work. Oh God, never again. Now I'm getting nauseous now thinking about it. That was so embarrassing.
No, that was so embarrassing. Everyone had this moment. I mean, at least once. That was
so bad. I felt so bad that day. No, I like what Sophia said. Be professional, guys. And yes, this profession is so amazing, but it's so demanding. And if you have a problem with something, then that's maybe not a profession for you. I mean, you can have a logical, intellectual addition to the project and to the screenplay, to everything, but you're not above the project.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you, Luka, so much. Today was a short day with questions, and I'm gonna find something else that we can do together. For example, like scenes together that I talked about. Some of them, everything is gonna be open, and we're gonna be able to fly. And we start flying, we're gonna do scenes together.
I hope so. I hope you come and visit Lucy and myself, and we finally meet like this. And thank you very much for the invite. We can do this once again not after the summer, but in a little bit, because right now I'm gonna turn off all my social media for a couple of weeks and hide away. Oh, well, not really turn off, but I need a little bit of family time. But thank you again for all those questions, to you and also to all the fans who sent in questions. Thank you very much. Some of them were amazing and out of left field, you know.
Right.
So I liked it. I liked it.
Well, yes. Thank
Sophia,
you.
Thank you very much.
We're going to do it again for sure, and really appreciate it, and have a fun time with your family. I'm going to find my son. Like, Mommy, somewhere there.
Yeah, I saw him at the window. What the hell was that? I was like, what the? No!
There is a big balcony around it. So.
No, I understood, but it's a great photo. That's what I meant. But it was the first instant.
Well, visit
enjoy your summer as well,
and be my guest here. It's a beautiful city, not worse than Barcelona. Please be our guest.
Do you have a beach?
Yes. Yeah.
I know you do, but I think it's kind of fresh.
In St. Petersburg, there is a huge. I mean, it's all in the water.
I know it's the city's in the water, but that water is kind of like, I like my water nice. I'm not. After the sauna, I can do a cold bath for 1 minute, 17 degrees. But only that, like going swimming in the no, rivers, no. Thank you very much, and a big hello to everybody in St. Petersburg in Russia and whoever else is following us. Sophia, take care. Ciao.